So first of all, then, mate, can you tell us like a little bit about your background in rugby and what made you fall in love with the game?
So background, I was a bit of a late starter. Started at 11 years of age. I used to play football, and then one of the lads who came along to my football team, he uh, he used to play rugby. He came along. His dad was watching my football team play, and he said, "Oh, he's a big lad. Do you fancy coming down the rugby ground?" Just the local one to me, which is Worcester RFC. So just turned up. Again, it was quite a big lad for my age at like 10 or 11. So turned up, hit some pads, and I was like, oh, I can hit people and like be rewarded for it rather than getting free kicks against me in football and stuff. So yeah, I just started from there really. And then I played football and rugby for a few years until I got to a choice where I had to choose between the two. And it turns out I was quite a lot better at rugby than I am football. So yeah, that choice was pretty simple. And yeah, just used to love going down Sunday mornings, every Sunday, even when the canal was frozen. Um, Climbing across that bridge, thinking, "Oh God, what am I doing here at 10 o'clock in the morning?" But yeah, loved it really. And then probably when I went to college, it started getting a little bit more serious for me. And then yeah, but I still love the social side around it as well. So yeah.
Yeah, you mentioned your time at Worcester RFC, obviously your hometown club. How much
Yeah.
does Worcester RFC mean to you? I know I've read a little bit about your time there on their website, and I know you
Yeah.
really see it as like a home, don't you?
Yeah, so Worcester RFC for me probably has been a constant for me really. I love the club. I grew up playing for the age groups there and grew up always wanting to represent the first team. I knew it was the amateur side that I wanted to represent as well. It's not like some kids go along and they think Worcester have got this massive link with Warriors, but I did like the amateur club. And for me, I played quite seriously at college and got to the age of 19. Nothing came around with like academy contracts and stuff. Don't want to overly talk about that too much. But for me, Worcester RFC was always a home for me. Would go back and play for them. I had a couple of years, I'll say, off rugby, probably between the age of 21 to 23, I think it was. Probably played about 6 games a season just for Worcester RFC when they were short, or if I could play, because I was coaching rugby at the time. And then sort of through some great mates there, a real core group of close friends, and they've never paid any sort of money, and their whole recruitment process is just having a real close group of friends. So, and absolutely loved it there. Yeah, that got me back into rugby really, just playing with some of my best mates that I've grown up with, playing rugby with them. And then it went on to me actually captaining the club, which for me was a massive honour. Like my dad came down, he lives 5 minutes away from the club, come down and watch me every weekend, meant so much to me. And then even while my mom came down to watch me when I was captain for the first time, and the local derby, it was brilliant. But yeah, that's it really. Worcester RFC, just absolutely everything. Still go down and watch them now when we don't have a game. So
And I know you spent some time out in Oz. How
yeah.
good was that experience for you? How did that come about? And how much different is the sort of rugby culture in Oz to it is in England and Wales?
Yeah, so for me, it was probably that year I started playing for Worcester RFC again and started playing quite well, in my own opinion. And then I just saw this kind of like a rugby agency ad, like looking for a guy to play out as a prop in Australia because they're pretty short on props out there. I think the surfing culture doesn't really appeal to carry a big rig around in Australia. So yeah, they needed a prop. I just applied online, sent over a few videos of me playing, sent out my rugby CV, and then from there they gave me a phone call. Flights were booked, and I was out there, which it all happened in the space of about 6 weeks. Crazy, just got up, went out there and played, which was amazing. Such a good club, Merryweather Colton. Give them a little shout out. The Greens. Again, it's like a family club, a bit like Worcester RFC for me. They've got teams from first grade all the way down to fourth grade. They didn't really know what sort of player I'd be like, but they wanted props out there. So I nestled into their first team, first game. And I mean, the difference in rugby mainly is just the heat and the speed. For me, just my first game, so it was 30 degrees. Obviously, being a ginger, didn't really go well for me. After about 30 minutes, I think the commentators, first thing they said about me was, "Oh, he looks like he enjoys some pies over in England." And then they realised I could play a bit, so the commentators got on side. And then I think about 30 minutes in, they said, "Oh, bloody hell, he looks really red. Needs to get some sun cream on for him on this pitch." But yeah, just the tempo. I like really fast flowing ball playing. A bit different for a prop, but that's what I like. And I love the rugby out there. Dry pitches, throwing the ball around. That's what I enjoyed the most. Stuff I didn't enjoy really was running from. Say you kicked a touch for a penalty, we'd then have to run to the line out to do the line out. And if there's a knock on, you'd be running to the scrum to set up for a scrum. It's just running all the time. And let's just say when I came back over here to England and Wales and play, I did enjoy that little walk over to the scrum to get your breath back before you have to do anything. But yeah, and just the heat. The heat was so hard to play in.
Would you ever fancy going back out to Oz, like either to play or after you finish playing, just for the lifestyle?
You know what? I'm definitely going to go back on holiday soon. I still got some unfinished business, I think, with Merriweather. I hope the boys enjoy me saying that. Kind of want to go out and win a comp with them at some point. That'd be quite good. Just a little bit different now. I've just bought a house and things, so I can't just go out there, pack my bags and get out there. So I'd like to go back there at some point, play again. I really enjoyed the lifestyle, finish work at 2:00 in the afternoon and then head down to the beach. Or I don't know, play a game on a Saturday, have a load of beers, and then on the Sunday you're down on doing some recovery in the sea. It was unbelievable. Absolutely loved it. Kind of surreal being out there, like growing up in Worcester, no beach around me, and then heading out and living in Newcastle where the beaches are beautiful. So I'd like to go back out there, but I don't know. I'm enjoying it here at the moment massively. It does marry up quite well, but when I played, so I played a season, then I played a season in Australia, and then came here and played a season again. My body was just about to break, I think. So yeah, you definitely need a break after doing 3 seasons in a row.
And sorry to go from such a good point to such a low point. I know you've spoken before about you've had like quite an injury-plagued career. You've had some like failed moves. How have you like recovered mentally from your setbacks?
Oh, I don't know if I have. No. Tough question. I quite like it though. So for me, growing up, I was probably 18 to get into the Warriors Academy and stuff, and that didn't really happen. I got invited to train for a pre-season, but never got offered any money. And I was in a situation with my family where I needed to work to live, sort of thing. Couldn't live rent-free and just be a rugby player. And they didn't offer any money. So that made me look for other deals. And I had a couple of offers for one in Italy and one in America. And then I was just playing some games, a local game actually for Worcester RFC second team, just to keep myself fit. Ended up breaking my leg, dislocating my ankle. So that kept me out for 6 to 8 months. Still probably not fully recovered after the 8 months. Came back a bit too early. And then ever since that, I mean, I just seem to pick up little injuries everywhere, like breaking hands, breaking thumb, a hamstring tear. And then I think the season before I went to Australia was probably my first season I played without picking up an injury, like a major injury since the age of 17. So for me, that was massive. And I just hope I carry on doing that. And I suppose on the mental side, it took me from that leg break when I was 18, coming towards 19. I said I took some time out of rugby, fell out of love with the game, didn't want to play it anymore. I only wanted to play it for fun. Didn't want to do the serious side of it. And it's probably taken me until about 3 months before Australia to put myself back out there and try and progress again. Because I think the mental side of losing, that feeling of losing everything is pretty tough to get over. But yeah, I'm really enjoying the journey I'm on now. And I don't know, it kind of made those performances I put in at the back end of the season just mean that little bit more, just knowing where I've come from to get into the Welsh Premiership now, which is a level, if you'd have said I would have been playing that 4 years ago to me, I probably would have laughed in your face, sort of thing. So yeah, massive turnaround for me. Still mentally getting challenged by it, but yeah, we keep building. So.
And how did the move to Ebbw come about? And was it an easy decision to come down and play for Ebbw?
yeah. It's a bit of a funny story, really. I don't know if anyone like me saying. He'd probably say he got me from scouting videos and watched me. And now I played rugby with someone in Australia. Who's another English prop who went out there, and he came back and signed for a Super Six side in Scotland. And I thought, oh, I'm playing the same level of him as in Australia. I thought, why not try and play sort of similar standard? Start progressing yourself over here. And then because we had the cross-border competition was meant to happen just before COVID.
Yeah.
So I started looking at Welsh teams that were involved in that. And I realised that the journey for me from Worcester wasn't that far. And then I did some research into the clubs, sent my video and my highlights to just a couple of teams in the Welsh Premiership. I think Ebbw got back to me within an hour of me sending it to them. I think it was quite lucky, really, because I think Oaksy had just been banned. And there was a couple of injuries. So they're, come on down, we'll take a look at you. And I mean, I was pretty naive into it, really. I mean, just sending a video to such a big club, just a bit of a risk, really. You don't get sort of thing. Yeah. Put myself out there, and then I thought, I've got a couple of training sessions just to show the boys what I'm about and try and impress Woodsy. And I think I did that. got kept around for a little bit. So yeah, that's how the move came about. A bit of a weird one, just dropping the club a line and seeing if they fancied a prop, really, because I just wanted to progress myself, play at the highest level I think I could play, and I thought I could come and play and try and get up to the level of Welsh Premiership. I think I've done that, hopefully. So, yeah.
And what are some of your favourite moments in an Ebbw shirt so far?
So for me, probably favourite moments, I think RGC away was a big moment for me. I think Oaksy was still banned. There was a couple of injuries, so I got put on the bench for that away trip. And I think Morgan got sim-binned after about 30 minutes. So I came on in the first half, played 10 minutes, played all right, didn't do too much. And then second half, I got a chance, won a couple of penalties at the scrum, a couple of turnovers. And I thought, here we go. I'm playing for Welsh Premiership Rugby now. Thought I made an impact there. So that was a real good memory to go up to RGC away, get a win, enjoy the beers on the bus with the boys after. And then the other one is probably... my favourite moment probably in an Ebbw shirt is Pontypridd at home. That's probably a big performance from me, I'd like to say. And all that, I don't know, all the years building up to it, there's a moment in the game, I don't know, Greg pointed out to me and the boys in a meeting once, it's quite funny. The last scrum of the game, we win a penalty and it just confirms we win it. And I just let off a roar at the end of the scrum when we won the penalty. And I think that was about 6 or 7 years of frustration coming out, and what a feeling that was to get that win after a performance I put in. Yeah, it just meant so much to me.
And do you have any playing ambitions, or do you just want to sort of keep doing it as well as you can and pushing yourself?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to lie and say I don't want to push on and play at a higher level. I don't think I've proved myself to be a Premiership starter for Ebbw yet. I mean, my spell here has been so cut short due to COVID. I mean, it took a while for me to get into the starting lineup. And I mean, that only came through playing out of position because we had injuries. And then I pushed myself into the starting tight head shirt, which is what I always wanted. And then COVID's come around. So I think I only had a couple of games as the starting tight head. So for me, I've got my ambition for next year is to cement myself as the starting tight head in this league and hopefully prove to be one of the best, and then see where it goes from there, really. That's it's a pretty dull answer to that question, isn't it? Sorry.
Yeah,
but yeah.
Yeah, you mentioned COVID. How did COVID affect you sort of in your overall life?
Overall life? So, yeah, I got COVID in early April last year, so I had it myself. I was pretty rough with it actually, me and my girlfriend, and yeah, that was a tough couple of weeks. When you go out for a walk and you can't catch your breath, it's a bit different. And then I was put on furlough with my old job from, I think it was that May until September last year. And I was living in a flat at the time, so no garden, just same four walls every day. Going out for an hour a day for exercise was pretty tough at the start. But yeah, after that, it's all turned around really. I mean, I got a new job in January, absolutely loving that. Brought a house, so life's starting to move on a little bit, and just got to try and keep upbeat. I think everyone's in the same pretty poor situation. For me, getting COVID early, I know they haven't said you can't have it twice, but I don't know, it gave me a little bit of freedom knowing, I don't know, it's pretty rare to get it twice during that summer, and having antibodies and stuff and having those tests. And so yeah, a bit of freedom. I know I've just done things I haven't done for years. I mean, started Sunday league football, been training with like a Sunday league football team, trying to keep a bit fit, playing a lot of golf, playing some tennis, playing some squash with some friends around here. Just giving me a chance to, I don't know, get back in touch with people. When you're playing rugby 2 evenings a week, and then playing on the weekends, the gym as much as you can, and the traveling for me as well, it takes up a lot of my time. So I've just had a lot of time to spend with family, friends again, which I've really enjoyed that actually.
Yeah, and obviously you mentioned about being like stuck in your flat, the same four walls. How did you like deal with the like mental side of that? Did you struggle a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. I think anyone who said they wouldn't in that situation, fair play to them, because yeah, it was tricky. I was on my own for a lot of it as well. So I think for me, it was just trying to make myself have a routine, waking up at the same time every day, setting an alarm, even though there wasn't much to set an alarm for. Doing stuff like in my living room workout at 12 o'clock every day before I eat lunch. Had that, and then in fairness, playing a lot of PlayStation, like playing a lot of gaming, kept me sane really. I think if I hadn't had, we've got a good group of people, boys that I play Call of Duty with and play FIFA pro clubs with. Without that, I think I would have gone a bit crazy. I mean, it was constant like 4 or 5 hours chatting to someone, which I'm not going to pick up the phone and speak to someone for 4 hours. But I will play a game with someone for 4 hours and just have a chat about general life and what we plan on doing after COVID. So just get an opportunity to talk to people really.
And what have you like missed the most about rugby and like being at the club and stuff like that?
For me, just I've missed playing. I love playing rugby. I just love having a ball in my hands, playing some touch, being around the guys, and playing the game on the weekend is why I do it. Just have some fun. Love playing now, so missed that. I've missed Super Club, just a bit of chat after training on a Thursday night. Enjoy that. Listen to some stories. Ross always tells a good one. And yeah, for me, I think yeah, that's probably it really. Yeah. COVID had quite a big effect because for me, I was just coming into the team, so it just put it on hold for me, and hopefully it's just press pause, ready for me to press play when it goes again, sort of thing. And
going back to your time in Australia, you said about how you like the sort of quick, fast-paced games, you know, ball in hand a lot. The Premiership, it does get a lot of stick for not being at the highest standard, but having played in it recently, like yourself, what do you make of like how like competitive the league is? Every game is an absolute slog, isn't it? I mean, competitive, every game is competitive in it. There's not many whoopings in it. It's usually pretty tight. Teams, it is the most physical rugby I've ever played in my life. Like I think I played 80 minutes against Pontypridd at home. I couldn't walk for a couple of days after that. And I was trying to go to work on a Monday. Like my body is absolutely battered. So the physicality is just through the roof. But then it's still at a fast pace as well.
I think it's a real good standard of rugby. It's challenging. You've got to be able to play, have good ball skills, but be able to handle the contact. Because if you can't be physical in this league, you'll get found out pretty quickly. Which is I'd probably improving me game by game, because that's always something that's been questioned about me, as my physicality in the tight game. So yeah, learning my trade in the valleys in Eugene Cross Park, and that wet pitch sometimes is a bit different to playing on the fast tracks in Australia. But yeah, absolute new challenge for me, and I'm sure when I get to play in the Welsh Premiership, it will be a bit more fast thrown as well, or on a 4G pitch, which I haven't done yet. So. And
who are some of the best players you've played with or against in the Premiership?
In the Premiership, I'm going to seem real bad here. The thing I love about the Premiership is playing in the Midlands, where I've played with Worcester RFC. You kind of know every player, right? Yeah. But I go into a game on a weekend and boys are talking about, oh, you got this prop playing against you, you got this number 8. And without sounding arrogant or anything, it's just because I'm not that cultured in Welsh rugby. Yeah. I don't know who they are. It's just a number on the back of a jersey for me. So I see someone lining up against me, I'm going to try and whack them no matter who it is. So against, I probably wouldn't be able to say the best player I played against. But play with, I love playing with Lewis Young. Makes the gain line so much every time. And I mean, Joe Franchi, what a leader. Looking forward to having him captain next year. I don't know, the intensity that guy plays with, it's just something I hope I can do on a weekend. If I can hit the sort of numbers that he's hitting, it'd be a hell of a game. So just look to him for inspiration. If he's still going at 60, 70 minutes, the work rate he puts in, then I could do the same, and everyone else should be doing the same, really.
Was he sort of the obvious candidate to take over from Ashley, and how much of a miss is Ashley going to be to the squad?
Yeah, I mean, Ashley's obviously going to be a huge miss. He made me feel really welcome at the club as soon as I came. Real big leader in the side. But Joe's a great replacement from what I've heard him speak as well. Growing up local to the club, it's just an added to it. But what the performances he puts in, week out, so consistent, and just his work rate is phenomenal, like I've said before. So if you're needing something to look at to what you should be doing, probably look at Joe, and he's doing it 10 times harder than what you are. So yeah, absolute, definite, great choice. Can't wait to play under him next year.
And then a little bit of sort of quick fire questions about you then. What do you like doing outside of rugby?
Football, playing football. Try and still play a bit of football. I play golf as well, squash. Any sort of sport, mate, I'll give a go. So I'm kind of the jack of all trades of sport, really. That's about it, really.
And I know you said you're a late starter to rugby. Did you have a rugby hero growing up, or just any sporting hero?
Any sporting hero? I mean, I could say someone I'm a Stoke City football fan, so I could say someone from them, but no one's going to know who they are. Probably rugby is real surprising. But the reason I started watching rugby and started playing rugby was because I watched an England game and I saw Jason Robinson break the line, and like seeing backs like that run through the line was just an appeal to me watching it. And it turns out I turned out to be more like a Jason Leonard sort of player. But we can all dream of being silky backs. But yeah. So probably Jason Robinson. Give it that.
Do you have any hidden talents?
I think people would be surprised that I can do a bicycle kick quite well in football. So I am a striker as well, which is probably another shock. Some of my size playing up front. So yeah, I think that's a hidden talent. And I hope Greg gets a football out at training soon so they can see.
Do you have a go-to karaoke song or like an initiation song or something?
So usually Uncle Cracker, Follow Me. I'm not very good at singing though. And then if I get called up at Christmas, I usually sing Fairy Tale of New York. It's quite an easy one. You can be a terrible singer and get away with it as well. So.
And a bit of a weird one, but as a prop, I would imagine props have some good ones of these. Do you have any excuses for missing training or a game?
Training. I think if you ask Greg, my hamstring's twinging every time it's a fitness session. But I think last year it was an excuse, but it was actually true. Last year, the floods in Worcester, I texted Greg. I said, look, mate, I'm not going to make training tonight unless I've got a boat. So I think being stranded in an island in Worcester was a pretty good excuse last year.
And then a little like teammates round to finish then.
Yeah.
Who never pays for a round?
Flanny.
Who's the best drinker?
What was that?
Best and worst.
Best and worst. You know what? I've actually not been on a proper social with the boys yet, so I'll let you know that one later on in the season if that's all right.
Who's the feistiest?
Feistiest. You know, Joe Franchi. You know, I wouldn't want to mess with Joe Franchi, but Flanny gives it all the talk as well from 9, doesn't he? So, but I don't know if he'll back it up. You know.
And who's the funniest?
Ross. Like that guy has me in stitches every Tuesday, Thursday. He's got a funny story to tell, and I always find myself sitting next to him in team meetings because he cracks me up every week.